Here are the top 12 national parks in the West, according to me. My name is Matt. This list focuses on the Rocky Mountain region, so it leaves out California, which isn't really part of America anyway. I've been to some of these parks more than others, which surely affects my unofficial rankings here. If you've been to these parks, comment whether you agree or disagree. If you like this video, please subscribe. Let's get to it. At number 12, we have the Badlands in South Dakota. The Badlands are kind of like Bryce Canyon in concept. It's a huge eroding plateau. It has a nice drive through the park with panoramic views. It's also close to the world's kitschiest place, Wall Drug. Teddy Roosevelt once hunted buffalo here, and his image resides nearby on Mount Rushmore. At number 11, we have Canyonlands, which is in Utah, one of 5 Utah national parks, 4 of which appear on this list. Canyonlands is like a mix between the Grand Canyon and Arches National Parks. It has a few arches and a lot of red rock and stunning overlooks from the island in the sky. But watch out for Mesa Arch, it's a little deceiving, so don't let your kids run up to the arch, because if they go through the arch, it'll be all over. The Black Canyon of the Gunnison is in Colorado. It was named after John Gunnison, one of only 2 places on this list named after a person. Our child had a major tantrum here, which we refer to as the Tantrum of the Gunnison. This little gem is underrated. The painted wall cliff is the 3rd largest in the country, the 3rd largest cliff. It's as tall as 2 Empire State Buildings. This canyon is so tall and narrow that some parts of it only receive a half hour of sunlight per day. Rocky Mountain was the 3rd most visited national park in 2019. It's basically one big drive across the top of a 14,000 foot mountain range. In Colorado, they call 14,000 foot peaks 14ers, and Colorado has half of all the 14ers in the United States, including Alaska. The views of the valleys below are stunning. I liked how there was tundra up on top. It also has wildlife and a bare lake. Mesa Verde National Park is the 3rd and final Colorado park on this list. It is the most unique park on this list because it's more of a cultural site, but it still does have beautiful nature. The ancestral pueblos set up their cliff dwellings here nearly 1,000 years ago. The fun thing about this is it feels like the most interactive of the parks. You get to climb ladders and go into the dwellings and kivas. Arches National Park feels like the man upstairs was having fun with Play-Doh one day. It's absolutely bizarre because it's not a continuous feature like a canyon or a plateau like most of the other parks. And it wasn't carved by water or glaciers like the other parks on this list. It was created mostly by wind. It's a collection of unique red rock formations. Park Avenue with its high narrow walls, the 3 gossips chatting away, and an elephant parade. Delicate Arch is the most famous arch and found on Utah's license plates. At number 6 is Grand Teton National Park. Grand Teton is one of 2 Wyoming parks on the list. It is the 8th most visited park in the country. Its defining feature is the tall, sharp peaks from which Teton derives its name. My kids asked me how it got its name, so I told them, and they laughed for an hour. The Tetons are amazing for how sharp they rise out of the ground. While other mountain ranges gradually get to their peak, the Tetons don't waste any time in getting to their point. At number 5 is the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is the only park in Arizona that shows up on this list. It's the second most visited national park. The name says it all. Consider this, Grand Teton is about 45 miles long, Yellowstone about 65 miles long. The Grand Canyon is 277 miles long. It's so massive, it's hard to take it all in. It seems like you're looking at a photograph when you're standing on the rim. At number 4 is Bryce Canyon. Again, God was having an artistic moment. The canyon name is a misnomer. This is like the Badlands, a plateau that is falling apart. Bryce Canyon is one of the smaller parks on this list and among the lesser visited parks on this list. But most people I talk to are absolutely stunned when they see it. It gets a higher rating on Google than Zion or the Grand Canyon. You really feel like you're in the Old West here, so bring your 6-shooter and ride some horses down into the hoodoos. Zion National Park is the 4th park in Utah on this list. It's also the 4th most visited park in the country and on the rise. There are red rock canyons all around Utah and Arizona, but none like Zion, which has 2 of the most famous hikes among the national parks, Angel's Landing and the Narrows. Angel's Landing is insanely cool and also terrifying. You need to hold onto a chain to make sure you don't fall to your death. In the Narrows, you'll hike through water, swim, and rappel. It would be hard to imagine a more unique hike among all of our national parks. Glacier sits on the border of Canada and Montana. If there are 2 things Canadians like to brag about, it's that they have better health care and the better half of the Glacier Park. And if there's something Montanans like to brag about, it's that Glacier is better than Yellowstone. Glacier is like Rocky Mountain, but more stunning. The Going to the Sun Road is famous for a reason. John Muir said, "You will find yourself in the midst of what you are sure to say is the best care-killing scenery on the continent." At number 1 is the first national park in the world, Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone is the 2nd Wyoming park on this list, and it slipped to the 6th most visited national park in 2019. It doesn't have the deepest canyons, nor the highest peaks, but it has the most variety. Geysers, hot springs, waterfalls, the biggest log building in the world, and wildlife all over the place. It also has its own canyon, the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone.